Happy Mother's Day. So let me see, I figured out a way to do this. I'll start off with a writing. This is hot off the press. I've been listening to these excerpts from Nissi, and I really love them. And it also showed me, you know, he speak. I don't like talking about myself, but I could see that he uses it to good effect. So I thought I'd join in on some of that, and this writing came today or yesterday, I don't remember. When I see you, I see me. I do not see separation. Everything I see is through the lens of unicity. All of this is me, and none of this is me at the same time. I do not identify with anything, and I feel fully connected with everything. This sense of connectivity is not personal or impersonal, it just is. Everything just is. When I lived in separation, I had many beliefs, but in oneness, beliefs do not arise. Everything just is not a belief, it is a fact. The real world is fact-based. The dream world relies upon beliefs to give it the appearance of substance. When you dream at night, your mind puts aside conventional beliefs and expands them to include all kinds of things. So while you're dreaming, it seems perfectly acceptable that you can fly or be an entirely different person, etc. This is the magic of belief. It makes the dream seem true, but the dream is just a dream. You know this the moment you wake up in the morning. Here's the thing. You are dreaming now. It doesn't matter how much you believe in this dream. It is still only a dream. Dreams are not real. They are false. Abandon beliefs and live in reality. Everything just is. So, this is the thing. So, people go through this life. It's just like you're sleeping. You're dreaming. All of this is just a dream. And you believe in it, so it seems like it's real. You see? But it's not real, and you can tell this because it's temporary. The things that are real are eternal, they're permanent, they never change. Everything just is universal, because everything just is, isn't it? Everything just is. And everything always just is, forever. It's all-inclusive, always the same, steady, reliable fact. Your belief in yourself as an individual can last no longer than this lifetime. And maybe you can shorten it so that it doesn't even last that long. So I'm wanting each of you to go through your days remembering that this is a dream. Remember. The main thing is to remember. You see? Now, Ramana said attention. So you pay attention to what is actually happening here. Pay attention and remember. Remember, all of this is a dream. Remember who you are. Keep it in the forefront. Don't fall into this forgetfulness, which is so easy to do because it's a habit. You have this well-established habit. It's been going on for a whole lifetime of forgetfulness. Yes? You know, and also there's this aspect where you enjoy parts of the dream so much. There's certain things that bring you pleasure, and you know, pleasure is really pleasurable if you dive into it and buy into it and embrace it fully, you see. So you do that and you go, oh yeah, this is it. This is great. And it works, but then things eventually get uncomfortable, you see. And then you're thinking, maybe this isn't such a hot idea, this life of involvement. So anyway. Wake up. It's a good time to wake up. Now, how's it been going on the homework with the I Am That excerpts? Alan, have you listened to them at all?
Yes, I listen a little, not as much as I was hoping to, because I have some unusual things happening. I know them well because I've read them a lot, and I listened a little bit. Yeah, actually, I listened to the first line, and it kind of, what's common for me is I read like one line or two lines, and then I just have to stop and sort of think about it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. That's the way to take it in, because you fully, there's a lot there, and it's deeper than the words, you see. So what you're taking in is actually the silence behind the words, and that's ideal. And I wondered, because of how much you've read the book, how the listening to it, audio, how that was for you.
Yeah, it's a little different. I mean, reading it, you sort of do it yourself on your own, in your own way, in your own time, and then listening to it is slightly different, but they're both good. I mean, I love the stuff.
Yeah, I know you do. I know you do.
Nanti,
Yes.
what I heard him say was pleasure and pain. Between pleasure and pain is the river of life. Don't get caught on the banks.
Ah,
So
yeah.
I'm savoring that.
Then right after that, he'd said, not hope, but desire is a memory of pleasure, and fear is a memory of pain. I sort of like that one.
Right. Correct. He plays on that a lot. The play between pleasure and fear, or desire and fear.
Desire and fear, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I was surprised because really, he's going deep into the psychology of it, and there is no psychology in India. So he's way ahead. I was very impressed by that. That's kind of shit I talk about. So it was good. And
that's it.
yes.
I liked it.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Soothing and peaceful. I am. That's all I need.
Yeah.
To sleep. So I feel like I was listening to it while I was sleeping, and then I'd wake up and it'd still be going.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, this guy's got a lot to say.
Yeah. I do the same
If
thing.
you just get the I am, then that's the message. It's very simple.
It is simple. Ultimate is very simple. It's a lot of words to say something that can't be said because it's too simple. But that's fine. That's fine. They're good words. They're magnetized. You know, and they're on point. And they're great pointers. They point right to it. At
Well,
least for me.
it made me hungry for more.
Well, there is more. You haven't listened to the whole thing yet, right?
Oh yeah, well, I got through 3 of them, I think, at least.
Okay, there's more.
Hmm.
There's more, and you'll find when you go back, there's still more. He says,
There's 12 and a half hours altogether.
how much?
12 and a half hours.
Yeah, so that should keep you busy. And there's another one after by the same guy, and it leads right into it. It's a 2-hour one of his later talks, Ultimate Pointers, it's called. That one has a commercial, though. Be careful. It's the rudest thing ever.
Yeah, that would be a shock, listening to that. And then,
It's so rude. Hmm. Hmm. He says some stuff. I think of you with some of it, you know, particularly, you're not the body, you're not the mind, and just remembering that. That's all. The key is just to remember that. So you see, like there are thoughts, there are feelings, but they're not you. And this is where the confusion comes in, is that we've personally identified, and we think we are what we think. We are what we do. We are what those are our feelings, you see? And all he says is, remember, it's not who you are. And really, if you can remember that, well, you pretty much have it licked, don't you? Pretty much. Let's see here. Yeah.
Middle, okay. So mine's a little different. There you go. Okay. Nanti. Nanti.
Yes.
I got through one of the videos of Nisargadatta and I just loved it so much. And then this morning, I usually read Robert Adams in the morning.
Yeah.
He was with Ramana. And this paper fell out. It's a poem by Robert Adams. It's so profound. It goes, everything is nothing. Everything I see, it's what this dream is made of, including you and me.
Ah,
There really is no reason, no person, place, or thing, no time or any season to search for anything. Start by being quiet, drop everything and see. Nothing to lose, so try it. Find all of it as nothing and be free.
Mm. Mm. I liked all of it But the last line, it's hard to be what you already are, isn't it? You know, you're already free. And the idea of freedom and bondage is duality. See? So it's all right though, because you know people are still aspiring to something, so that can be inspirational. But the idea that you are actually able to get somewhere where you already are is actually, it's just misconceived is all. The things that Ramana and Nisargadatta and all these guys are pointing to, they're pointing to that which already is. That I am is what has always been, what will always be. And so it's not like something to strive for. It's something to remember, and it's something to know and recognize that it is with you, you see. So Baba used to say, God dwells within you as you. He didn't say you needed to get there, that you should work really hard to get to that place, because it's already there. All of these teachings are pointing to something that is already present. And so really it's a case of deprogramming yourself. You've been programmed into believing that you are this body mind, and that you do this and you do that, and it's good and it's bad and that blah blah. And you're deprogramming that and remembering this, you see. So that sense of I am that is a way of deprogramming all of the rest of it, you see, because you added on to that so many things. You know, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, your good, your bad, your da 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 da, got added on to that essence, which is pure. And now a bunch of garbage has been thrown on it, and you can't even see that pure essence anymore. So this is just all of these things, all of satsangs, all of these homework assignments, is all reminders. It's just remembering who you are, and trying to take it's easy, really, you see. It's just that you can't do it. That's the only thing that makes it difficult. And the one who thinks he is something is the one that wants to do this. And there's nothing really to be done. So really the instruction is just stop. Just stop. Just be. Just be. And allow for what is to be present in your life. You see, so there is a certain amount of deprogramming that needs to go on, because you're so accustomed to living in forgetfulness. So at first, you want to just give this your attention. Just give it your attention. And you know, the mind is just a smoke and mirrors show. It's like the master of the illusion. So when you're looking at life through your thoughts, all you're seeing is illusion. And even if your mind is saying, I really want this spiritual blah, 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 it's all going to be illusion. You see, because that's what the mind is good at. That's what the mind is for. You see? So more and more, give the mind a special kind of attention. The mind wants your attention. The mind grabs your attention. The mind feeds off your attention. Well, give it a new kind of attention. The kind of attention that pierces right through it. The kind of attention that sees the mind for what it is. That sees the mind as the master of the illusion. Not as something that's you, just something that is actually simply a tool for dealing with this illusion. You see? The mind is very handy for dealing with this illusion. You don't want to go through this illusion without a mind. You'd be a vegetable. Things wouldn't go well for you. So fine, let the mind do what it needs to do to keep the body functioning, all of that, but really draw the line. The mind can master the illusion, not you. You see? So let the mind do what it's good at, but keep yourself. Keep that I am, that sense of being, that presence that is always with you. Do not sacrifice it to the mind. Do not turn it over. You are not this body. You are not these thoughts and feelings. You are much greater than that. You know, like, so I started this talk out, I said, when I see you, I see me. Like there's just one. That's all that's going on here is this sense of oneness. The sense of separation is strictly a mind thing. It's not your place, okay? There's a body and a mind, they operate together in this dream world, okay? And you have to keep things in perspective. This is truly a dream world. This is not the world, as it were. It's a dream world, and these bodies are really good quality virtual reality machines, and they make it seem real because that's what they're designed to do. So fine, let it be real for someone else. You can check out. You don't have to take that ride. And it's fine, it's very easy really. And it's really very, very simple. And when you get it, it'll be so easy, you'll laugh at how hard you tried to get it. So. How's your notebook coming, Tracy?
It's in my head.
Oh, you didn't write it down?
Not this time. I'm going to listen to it again.
Okay.
Have to be percolated.
The only reason I say to write it down, I don't care if it's digitally or handwritten, is just so that after all this is done, you have like a reference book for yourself. You have all the key words and all the key sentences that draw you home. So whenever you're feeling off and you're forgetting, you have this thing that can help remind you. It's yours, you see? This is your little book of reminders.
Yes, I intend to, but like Alan said, there wasn't enough time between when we got them and today. It was pretty, but we've got all week to figure this out.
Yeah, oh, you got more than a week.
By Thursday.
You have the rest of your life to figure this out. Don't worry. No, you have to be done by the end of the month. I'm sorry.
I'm going to have the whole book written by Thursday.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But we're on track. That's the main thing.
Yes, indeed.
Mhm.
I'm just checking in to see how everyone's doing with it. How about you, Barbara? How you doing with it?
Really good. I loved every bit of it. And I wrote down some things that I really liked especially. And Lanny and I listened to it together this afternoon, and we both really loved one particular part about meditation. I don't have my glasses on, so Lanny will talk about that. I can't read.
Well, he says the purpose of meditation is to become familiar with the inner life. And I found that interesting. Is I remember from Zen that meditation, when a thought would come up, the person I was following at that time said to notice how that affects your body, a certain thought. And then once you become familiar with those effects, the energy of those thoughts dissipates. And I kind of heard him say the same thing. And so I just thought that it was interesting that, Zen was so similar to what he was saying.
Yeah, the truth is usually similar to the truth.
Right.
Yes.
So.
So there were a couple of things that I really liked about what he said about meditation. He said, and by the way, it was kind of a side benefit, that the practice of meditation deeply affects our character. I found that to be inspiring.
Nice.
Yeah. And so that was it. Just his talking about the practice of meditation and how it prepares you to understand the inner workings of your mind. And once you see and hear the inner workings of your mind and really observe it, it dissipates. It said many times, it's like a cloud that just disperses when the sun shines.
Right. Well, that's very well described. That's correct. This is, the mind illusion does not stand up to scrutiny. It never does, because it's just an illusion. So that's, if you give this world, your thoughts, your feeling, if you give it real scrutiny, like really see it, like I was saying, a piercing attention, it poofs.
Yeah.
And then you see, and just by that fact, you can see how illusory it all is. It's just a dream.
Yeah.
So it's good to remember, and it's good to see how that works. And it's confirming that this thing that is like so big, such a big deal, your life, your actions, your thoughts, your feelings, such a big deal. When you really look at it, it just poofs. It's like, well, so what is the big deal here, really? Is it a big deal? Is it a deal at all? So that's good. That's good. And it's great. He says a lot of good stuff. And that's why I recommended this. There's a lot on a lot of levels for a lot of people. And what one person will take from it is totally different from what another will, but still doesn't matter, because, you know, there's all these paths and they're all going the same place. So you just, that's good. It's good. Thanks for sharing that. Keep it up. Just keep it up. As, there's a lot of hours in there, and I recommend that when you get through it, you start over, and you'll see like layers of an onion. It'll cut each time a different way.
Yeah.
Then who knows? Maybe you'll have to get the book.
I do. I have the book
Oh yeah, that's great.
in my hot little hands.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So just kind of a gossipy question. Did Nisargadatta and Ramana know each other?
No, not to my knowledge.
Oh.
They certainly knew of each other. I don't think they ever personally met. To my knowledge, they didn't, but they certainly Nisargadatta knew about Ramana. Now, you see, so like Nisargadatta was Ramesh's guru. But Ramesh, he actually felt that Ramana was his guru. And he said, I just met Ramana through Nisargadatta. You see, so by his, when he gave the talks was a picture of Ramana. You see, so it was interesting. He had Nisargadatta's picture up elsewhere in the house like that. But he really felt like they're kindred spirit, they're the same, you know, really. But Ramana is like the great grandfather of all of them, really.
Yeah.
He's top. You can't beat him. Like super guru.
And he did not have a guru.
No, Ramana is very rare in that regard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's breaking all the rules right there. He did not have a guru. He did not have a sadhana even. So talk about ripe. Yeah.
So we watched the video also of the story of the cow.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah. Yeah, that was really fun.
I saw it, I didn't watch it yet.
Oh, it's really wonderful.
I'll bet.
Yeah, it's really wonderful. And he claims that the cow was in samadhi.
Yes, yeah, I know. They achieved enlightenment.
Yep.
Yeah. Well.
So I guess even I could do it if the cow can, huh?
Maybe. Sure, if that's what it takes.
Yeah.
It might be easier for the cow.
It might be. The cow got to spend all its life, its whole life with Ramana.
Yes. That's unique. Baba had a lot of animals around. He always had animals around. He had cows, he had an elephant, peacocks, all kinds of animals around. He would go out and see them every day.
Look what I found. This is my mother-in-law's, and she has it all tagged here and bookmarked. My mother-in-law. So anyway, I have the book too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Excited. She has passed, but I'm really excited to see where she bookmarked it and to read what she was contemplating. It's really neat.
Oh, that is neat. Great.
Yeah.
She must have been pretty cool.
She was.
Yeah. Good to see you, Pam.
Thanks. I didn't think I was going to be able to make it, but I did.
Well, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ananta,
Yes.
this is Vimala.
Hi, Vimala. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right.
I'm glad. I'm glad. Thank you for doing what you're doing here. I've been lurking. I haven't been participating, but I've been lurking, and I just wanted to check in. So I guess the thing I want to comment on or ask for you to comment on is when it comes right down to it, and I know you've said stuff about it before, but you know, it's not by our intellect or by our understanding that enlightenment can come, because that's an act of ego, isn't it? And so it's, I don't know, it's almost like, in a way, you like sort of know what's going on, but you can't really make it happen. And, you know, you don't even want to try to make it happen, I don't think, because that's ego. I think maybe you just said that, but I do think about that because when you're talking, you're using lots of words and concepts and ideas, and these are all like intellectual things that it's the only way to communicate when you're in this dimension and in the, you know, the pickle we're in. But really and truly, you know it, but you really can't make it happen. It's just, if it's meant to happen, will happen, and if it's not, it won't. And it's just, you know, I can't think of anything I do that isn't part of ego, even around this subject. So I guess I'm wondering about that. The other thing that I wanted to add too, because you said about intention, is I recently read that in the Kali Yuga, which is the Yuga we're in, intention is absolutely everything, that you don't have to accomplish anything. If you intend good, that's brings merit. But if you intend evil, just to intend something evil brings whatever, you know, the karmic debt or whatever. But it's just what I read had spoken to the importance of intending. That you can intend to go on a pilgrimage and never ever get out the front door, but your intention will be as if you went on a pilgrimage. So I'm just throwing that in there, but the real thing is, like, you know, it's like you're mulling this stuff over with your mind, knowing that the mind that you're mulling in isn't even real, and you can't really do anything to bring the enlightenment, and you maybe don't even really want it. And I don't know if there's anything there you could speak to. I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Part of what you're doing, you see, in your practices is
Yes.
you are making it so the ground is prepared so that when grace comes, it will be able to come to fruition. If the ground is not prepared, then the ego will try and claim that moment of grace as its own, you see? And
yeah.
You will follow that. And then that moment of grace will be a memory. It will be something that happened in the past instead of something that is always with you. That's the only difference, you see. So the work that you're doing is making it so that when the grace comes, it will be able to stay, you see, without you personally getting involved to remove it. Mm-hmm. Because when that grace comes, in that moment, you're not involved. By a miracle of grace, you weren't there, and you could feel that presence completely as it is. And then you return and you go, oh, that's it. This is what I've been working toward. This is a good sign. I'm so happy. Yay. And it's gone now. It's a memory. So it's true.
You don't want to grab at it. You don't grab at it. But there are people who like spontaneously enlightened too, and maybe it's from past life work that they did the work in another lifetime, and then it bore fruit in this lifetime. So if that's the case, then even if we don't have, if that grace isn't for this lifetime, all the work that we do in this lifetime to understand who we really are would carry over, and maybe in the next lifetime there'd be.
Yeah, you can adopt any belief system that works for you.
Right. Yeah.
But you see, if it's going to just happen, then it's going to just happen. But
right.
Everyone who comes to these talks, they're seeking. So that's
right.
probably not going to happen in that way, because everyone's already seeking, you see, that comes
right.
and listens to this crap. So, fine. So you just do what you think. I mean, you have a natural attraction to this. This is kind of your thing. You are drawn to the spiritual journey, to the sadhana, to the practice, to getting somewhere. Fine. It doesn't matter that, Baba went for years and years and years. He was a sadhu, traveled all through India, met all different saints. It was like, that was his thing, you see? So Ramana, not so much, not at all. Shree, not at all. Ramesh went to Nisargadatta, and he was a disciple. So it's all different manifestations at different times. You see, no, that's all. It's fine. It's fine, and it doesn't matter, because look, you're gonna put your energy into doing something. As long as there's personal identification, you are going to put your energy into doing something. So just go ahead and do this. Okay? Fine.
Right.
Even if it's, obviously it can't work as long as you're doing it. But you know what? If you do it enough, maybe you'll get so frustrated with it that you'll give it up. And the surrender happens, and it's all taken care of, you see? But that's about grace, and you don't have to worry about it. I feel that if you're really sincere, if you are, Nisargadatta used the word earnest. If you're earnest about this, if you are really, really, like you were talking about intention, if this is your intention, if you really, really put that out, you will draw grace. It will come to you. You'll be a magnet for grace. It will automatically come to you. It's like you'll be drawing it to you. It's like I've always felt this way about trees. I've always felt that where there's trees, somehow they draw the rain. They draw the rain to them, even in areas where they don't get much rain, where you have trees, they draw the rain. It's like that. So if you are a seeker and you are really sincere, those moments of grace will come. They'll come. My example that I gave last talk is if if you play poker, eventually you're going to get a royal flush. You'll get the ultimate hand. But if you don't play poker, you won't. It will not happen.
Right.
So it's fine. You continue and you remember, you see, you know, this is really so simple. All you have to do is remember and pay attention. That's it. Just remember who you are and pay attention to what's happening so that you're not sleeping through this journey, that you're not just in dreamland and unconscious of what is going on. So, yes. So,
Is the
yes.
fact that you're a seeker at all is grace also, isn't it?
Well, yes, if you're into seeking, it is.
So really, it's like the ego can't take credit for anything.
Oh, well, the ego likes to take credit for everything, but in fact,
Mm-hmm.
you know, good job, illusion. Bravo.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it up. It's just, you see, you should be amused by the ego anyway, because, you know, the ego is really funny. Nothing thinks it's something. That which doesn't exist wants to find out what's real. It's great. It's good entertainment. Enjoy the journey, really. And like I say, you only get to discover who you are once. So enjoy that journey. Did that answer it for you?
Yeah, I guess the one other side is, I don't know, it goes around in the head, but desire, the idea of desiring enlightenment is a desire. And so I sometimes will kind of look at the whole thing and like drop it, because it's just like if I desire it or want it, then it becomes a desire. I don't know, that's all semantics and
Yeah. I mean, look, you know, the mind is corrupt.
yeah.
The ego is corrupt. The ego is trying to do something. An illusion trying to do something is a joke, really, okay? It's all right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the ego operates under certain incentives, you know. It wants, really, when I was with Baba, I wanted what he had because I wanted to be that happy. I wanted to feel that joy that he radiated all the time. I wanted to live there. You see?
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. I wanted what he had. You see, and I wanted.
Well, when you were wanting that, was that an ego thing? I guess that's what I'm wondering.
Of course it was. Yes, it was an ego thing. Mm-hmm.
So that's like the conundrum for me. Like you're. I don't know. I guess you have to play it from that angle to get anywhere. But I'm wondering about the desire for enlightenment. I puzzle about that. You know, what that is. Is it good or bad? Is it just what it is? Probably. Go ahead. I didn't mean to.
Just what it is. I wouldn't fuss about this so much. It's perfectly fine.
Okay.
You're just doing it the way you're doing it. And you know what? There's no right way to do it. There's no wrong way to do it. It's just what's happening. And the thing is, you know, when you're personally involved, and it's never going to be perfect, right? Now, so I was motivated. I went to India. I spent time in ashrams. I put myself through hell. You know, it's like because I really wanted it. I really wanted it. God damn it. But
Yeah.
to get it, ultimately, a surrender had to happen. And that surrender
Mm-hmm.
meant that everything was given up, including the one who wanted it. Okay?
Right.
Eventually that happened. It was a matter of grace, of course, but it doesn't matter. This is the way it's played. Just ride
Mhm.
it. Ride it. And, you know, it's not going to be what it should be until it is.
Okay.
The moment of enlightenment, everything changes. It's all done. It's like there's no more doing anymore. But
Mm-hmm.
up to that, you know, there's a lot of stuff to be done. Even though it's almost like what Ramesh told me. The enlightenment will happen in spite of what you do, not because of it.
Oh, okay.
You see? But that's all right. It's still played this way. It didn't mean when Ramesh said that to me, I just gave it up, went home, never saw him again. No. It was my nature, and I drove it. And I continued and continued and put everything I had into it. Okay? So
Okay.
ride it, and don't be so like it's not like you can do this the right way or the wrong way.
Okay.
You're just doing it the way you're doing it, and everything's to be accepted in that big picture of what is. Everything is what it is.
Mhm.
Okay, and it's fine. It's fine. Don't fuss about it so much. And you see, you have so much grace. There's so much grace in your life already. You have another guru, and you got to spend time with him. You move to a strange place. You get to spend time with another. It's like that's a lot of grace right there. So
Yeah,
you're
it really is.
a magnet. You're a magnet. Just trust that. Okay?
Okay.
Trust it. And it, you know, yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's trust. Trust
Mm-hmm.
that everything's going fine. Just the way it is. Even if it doesn't look right, it doesn't matter. It's just fine. Yeah, you're very lucky. You know, I felt lucky too. I got to be with all these guys. You know, that was really lucky. You know, Bob
Mm-hmm.
died. I thought that was it. I was done. And two others come along, take care of, finish the job that Baba started. You see? So,
Yeah.
yeah, good.
Thank you.
Of course. Of course. Thank you for your question. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Welcome.
Oh, let's see here.
Ananta.
Yes.
Ramana talks about, I guess, his methodology. I think he was saying he called it self-inquiry,
Yes.
which is, I believe, what you're saying for us to do is to focus our attention inwardly as often as possible throughout the day. I mean, you were saying 10 minutes every hour.
Yes.
I have a sense of what that focusing attention inward is, but I was just wondering if you could put words to it. I mean, it's kind of, it seems like that's the key. And I just kind of try to rest in a watchful state, just watching what's going on inside. But maybe you could explain it better.
Well, you know, the thing is, I'm not big on prescriptions. And so I leave it vague because I think each person has their own way of doing this, you see? So in your case, you're clear on what works for you. You see, so yes, that's exactly right for you. Okay, someone else may want to do mantra. Someone else may want to watch a video. Someone else may want to read a book. Someone else, there's all these different ways that draw you in. And you see, it doesn't matter, even if it's just that stillness, you're still searching, who are you? You're still there with it in your own way. In your own way. That makes sense?
Yes, yeah. That's
You're totally on it. That's exactly right, and it's exactly right for you. And each person will have their own way that's exactly right for them. Sometimes it's trial and error to find out what's right. But it sounds like you've passed that point and you're already there. You know what's right for you. And so the only thing I would say is be flexible, because what's right for you today may not be right for you, months down the road. Because the way the mind is, the mind gets used to something and then gets into, and it becomes less effective over time. So you mix it up if you need to. But if this steers you in, the idea really is, like Ramana said, attention. You give this your full attention. You allow yourself to fully dive into what is, the deepest sense of what is. You continually go in to what is, what is, what is. And that brings it home, you see, and that keeps it in your presence. So that sense of presence is in your presence, it's there. And if you're doing it 10 minutes out of every hour, then the other 50 minutes, there's a residue of that that's with you, you see? And then you're just diving in for another booster on that. And eventually, you don't have to do it anymore because it's doing you. You see, right now you're trying to get to it and bring it to you, but in fact, it's already there and it's already who you are. And right now, you're just remembering. You're reminding yourself and remembering and doing things that remind yourself, you see? But eventually, you remember. And then it's no effort at all because you're already there. It's home, you see? So that's the ideal. Continue. Just continue with it. And it doesn't matter, whatever words you resonate with, you see, because we're all saying the same thing, you see.
Yeah.
Find out who am I, and Nisargadatta is I am. Just go to that I am without anything added to it. You see, it's all the same. It really is. So just stay with the process. And in whatever form that takes for everyone, I fully expect that it'll be different for everyone. So
I like the idea of having multiple methods, going to the same purpose. So reading, mantras, meditation, reminding yourself every hour.
Right.
It's good.
Yeah, there's a lot of paths up the same mountain. They go to the same place.
Yeah.
They go to the same place. Different paths, different features, different attractions along the way.
Right. Good.
Good then. Thank you, Lanny.
Yeah, thank you.
Everyone. always known.
I have kind of a question and comment.
Sure.
In it said karma is the healing hand of God, but you said karma is the act of doership. How are they related? I couldn't quite, that was one of the things that really stood out for me.
Nisargadatta said karma is the healing hand of God.
Karma is the healing hand of God.
Oh, now, you understand there's personal karma, karma that you create, and then there's karma that you came in with. Okay? The creation of karma, karma is caused by personal doership. That sense of, I am doing this, creates karma. But there's karmas that you came in with, that you were born into, that determine everything that's going to happen in your life. So thus, the healing hand of God, you see, in that regard, those karmas that you came in with are the things that caused the grace to happen, caused everything to happen, you see? But when I'm talking about the karma is the result of doership, I'm talking about karmas that you create. Those are the burdens that you add on to this life, you see, through that notion of doership. And the karma is an interesting force because it actually lives longer than you do. It continues on, and then someone else gets born into that karma, has to deal with your shit. So if you want to avoid that, you know, the notion of doership is gone, then no new karmas are created.
Okay, so they're pretty much talking about the karma you were born in with.
That's my hit. That's my hit on that. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't.
No, Nisargadatta wasn't creating any new karmas. He wasn't even here. So that's impossible. So the only karma that related to him are the karmas he came in with. When the body comes in with certain karmas, certain things happen because of those karmas. And that's the grace, isn't it? In his case, it was great grace.
Thank you for clarifying.
Oh, yeah. I hope I was right.
Ananta.
Hi, Alan. What's up?
So I don't really have a question, but it's sort of a comment. You know, you're talking about people having different ways. You know, in Ramana's books and Nisargadatta's books, they talk about paying attention to I am. And sometimes I feel like my being trips over the word I and I am. So what I've been doing, which, you know, I don't know if I can actually claim that I know what works, but it seems to work better for me, is to pay attention to another thing that he recommends, and you said earlier, just pay attention to being. And then for me, one step even below that, the thing I've been working with, and I might be repeating myself from a few weeks ago, is paying attention to that thing that knows. Just paying attention to knowing. So for instance, if, like I can pay attention to my foot touching the floor right now. And what is the thing that knows that? And I can feel my back against the chair. What is it that knows that? And it's this calm, quiet, constant, never-changing, very much in the present moment, because you can't know something that happened 5 minutes ago or 5 minutes in the future. The only time knowing happens, seems, is in the present. And if I drop a hammer on my foot and it hurts like hell, the knowing is still this calm, quiet, never-changing thing. But if I'm looking at a beautiful sunset and it's exhilarating, the knowing is still the calm, quiet, constant, never-changing thing. And so I've been trying to spend quite a bit of my meditative time and some non-meditative time just being with the knowing and identifying, I don't even know if that's the right word, thinking, instead of identifying with the body, identifying with that knowing, which seems to be perhaps more who I am than this body-mind thing that I've grown accustomed to.
I like that a lot. And I also, I know, even though I am that, Soham is a great mantra, and there's a lot of it is correct, but none of it is correct. The I and the that are incorrect. Am is the only one I don't have any problem with. But you see, you add the I to it, that's not correct. You add the that to it, that's not correct. Because it's still pointing out a distinction where there is no distinction. So if for you, that sense of knowing is before distinction, then that's correct. That for you, that's correct. And you see, so the difficulty here is always that no matter what word you use to describe it, it is incorrect. Because it's a word, and words are all based in distinctions. And what we're talking about is something that has no distinctions, you see. So it's beyond all that. But still, all of these teachers, every single one of them used words, because that's what you have to do, when you're in a body and operating from minds. People are hearing it with their minds, but really, like Ramana, there's an energy. So I think everyone here can feel the energy behind the words. They can feel what it is that's actually being talked about. It's not what's being said. It's what's in the space, you see? So right now, I'm talking to you. There's a mind functioning on both ends. There's words being said, words being heard, but that's not what's going on here. That's never been what's going on here. What's going on here is unicity, wholeness, oneness, complete oneness is all that's going on here. The manifestation that appears to be separate is just an appearance in consciousness, and consciousness is all there is. And that's all that's really here in the space. So it's just an irony that, we're all doing our spiritual journey and doing our practices and trying to get something that is impossible to get here. It's impossible to get because you've already got it. So it's just the way it's done. It's ridiculous. It's really boils down to a pretty good spiritual joke. But that's how it's done. And so we're playing the game. My gurus talk to me. I'm talking to you. It's the way it's done. But the truth is, you already have what you're looking for. You already are what you want. It's right there. And if you could just get out of the way, that's all you would see. So that's fine. We'll get you out of the way. We'll do our best. We'll do our best. And, but I know beyond any doubt that all of us are the same. It may look like Hollywood squares now, but we're all the same. Everyone, everything is one. So that's fine. And we just play it out. But so I like that. And you know, just that sense of being, it's like there is as clear as Om. As clear as that. That's all. It's just so simple, so easy. So easy. Yeah. So enjoy the ride.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Appreciate it. So in the meantime, while we're pretending to go somewhere and get somewhere, just put all of your sincerity into it. Make it your priority. And I guarantee you, the grace will come. Ananta guarantee. The grace will come. Yes?
I kind of feel that grace is with me all the time. And that without God's grace, I probably would have disappeared long ago.
Oh, yes, of course.
Arrogant to say, you know, like when they say I am, I still feel I am a miracle. And how can I feel that without everybody, with feeling its ego? You know, sometimes I just feel that this is amazing and each day's a gift. And then there's other times I'm mad and uncomfortable and want to die. But there is time where I just feel, wow, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. It's pretty amazing, really. It is.
So isn't that God's grace being with you at every moment?
Every breath you take, every beat of your heart is God's grace. You have nothing to do with either of those things, and none of this happens without it. So indeed, but in terms of the spiritual grace of knowing who you are, that is a grace that that it changes all of this, you see. So certainly grace is with you all of the time. But when I'm talking about it, I'm talking about the grace that causes a miracle to happen, where the forgetfulness ends and the complete unicity of everything is realized, you see? So that's that's all. But yes, and it's good to look at life that way anyway. It is. It's all a matter of grace. We're all very lucky to be here. Lucky to be anywhere. You see, Nisargadatta talks about it so frankly that, he's like totally just connected with that thing that is so vast it doesn't even know that it exists, you see. Right now, you have a moment where you actually are aware of your existence, you see, which adds a whole flavor to that sense of being, you see. Makes it unique. It only lasts for a short while. It's like a firefly. It lights up for a moment and then it's gone. So there's this moment where there's actually an awareness of your existence. It's unnecessary. It's just kind of like the icing on the cake is sweet. So that's the thing about this. If you're lucky enough, that you come to the realization that you are connected with everything, that is who you are, then with that, because there is this body and a mind perceiving what's going on, there's an actual awareness of that interconnectivity, because when you are everything, it is absolutely frivolous for you to be aware of it. It is irrelevant. But here you get this little, it's like a booby prize. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool that God, for a slight moment, goes, oh, yes, indeed, I'm here. I am, you see? Because that I amness is just, it's like it goes without saying. It's totally connected with everything and would never, ever need to be expressed, because everything is everything. I am is silly. But because there's this body-mind, there is this moment of being aware of the presence. It's really cool. I recommend it. Continue. It's nice, even if it's just a firefly moment, it's still nice. Grace.
Hi, Ananta, it's Laurel.
Good, I was just going to ask you something. Go for it.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, I just flipped over to see you. Yeah, go.
You know, I was just reflecting on, you talk about how we can be attracted to many ways in.
Yes.
And I've been really attracted to the face of God as the Divine Mother. And I've been like, today I woke up and I wrote a couple songs, and it's kind of with that. And I was wondering what you might say, about that.
Nothing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's totally fine. Whatever connects you, whatever it is that you resonate with, that reminds you of that, you see? It's that simple.
Yeah, maybe, you know, it's very possible that there might be a need, you know, for that feminine face. You know, I don't know, but it's a very caring, you know, kind of energy.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's
so I'm attracted, you know, to that.
Of course. Great. There's absolutely, that's great. You see, and this is why I don't prescribe, really, because everyone has their own thing that they resonate with that reminds them. So this is good. This is fine.
And the face, you know, that has been coming in a lot is Ananda Ma.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what I seem to be really moving in the energy of, you know, more that connection.
It's great. Mm-hmm.
You know, when I was moving around with kind of some different things with the last recordings, I just sort of kind of moved a little bit into some different things. And I was really taken to that one recording that you did when you talk about what would happen if you left the theater for a while, you know,
Yeah.
this movie, and that the movie would still go on and that for us to check it out. And it's hard for me to imagine leaving the theater. You know, it's an interesting concept.
Most people will not leave the theater even if the movie sucks. They keep on hoping it'll get better. So yeah, but it's an analogy. It's a way to image it so that you can understand, because people forget that this is a dream. It's really just a stage play, and you're someone who took your part very seriously. That's all, you know. And
Yeah.
in doing that, you forgot. You'll remember as soon as you wake up. Just like in the morning, you wake up, you remember. You know it was just a dream.
Mm.
But when you're involved in it, you believe it's real. That's all. So you're doing this, your movie you call your life. And you believe in it. And you move through it like it's real. You see? And that works until your show gets canceled.
Yeah, that's what was difficult for me to just even fathom, was that there is nothing here, or even the irony that there is nothing here, but yet there's everything.
Mm.
You know, it's just hard to imagine, maybe because there still is identification, that life without identification.
Mm.
The
Well,
closest
I
of
recommend you
oh,
use,
no, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I recommend you use your imagination to imagine that. You see? So right now, you are in the habit of using your imagination to believe that you are this character living in this dream. Okay? So why not use your imagination to imagine that none of this is real?
Mm-hmm.
That this is just a dream, you see? I think we were all basically brainwashed as children to believe that the dream is real. And you know how children are. They're very, very good at pretending and imagining things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a child can have an imaginary friend, and to them it's just as real as anyone.
That's true.
So as a child, we're taught to imagine that all this is real. You applied it, and you believed it, and that belief has held all this together. So like, you know, I hand you a dollar bill, you know, you say thank you. People give out dollars, and I can get all kinds of things for dollar bills. Now, these are pieces of paper with pictures of dead presidents on them. They have no value at all. There's no inherent value. But if I give someone a bunch of dollars, I can get all kinds of things with it. I can get a car and get things of value. And it's because everyone involved in the transaction believes that this piece of paper has value. You see, everyone believes it. And because of that belief, yep, now this piece of paper does have value. You see, but it's the same with everything else in this dream. Because of your belief in it, it seems to be real. It seems to have substance. It seems to have value. You see? But it's just your belief in it. I'm telling you, if you stop believing it instantly, none of it is going to. So right now, you have your situation in life. You have your problems. You have your relationship. You have this. You have that. All of the stuff in your life. Because you believe in your life. If you stop believing in your life, all your problems are gone.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Everything's, it's done, you see. If you stop believing in it, then all of the trivialities in your life don't matter. It doesn't matter anymore. Your belief is what holds it together. That's what holds the illusion together and makes it seem real. You see?
Yeah.
But there's nothing real here. It's just it's like a little paper mache design and taped on and this and that. And it's like, without the glue, everything just falls apart. And the glue in this case is the belief. So you have your beliefs. And really, what is a belief anyway? What is a belief? I don't believe in anything anymore. I used to believe in all kinds of things. And I'm teaching you things, and you're believing it. You're actually believing this bullshit. I can't help it. I did when I was a seeker too.
Are we believing it though, or because it seems to me that what has resonance has energy, so whatever aspects of what you're talking about that has energy or resonance for us are just really what we're being in the movement of.
Yeah. But it was the same thing when you fell in love. You see, so it's like, it's the same game. It's still personal, you see. The personal,
yeah.
It's a personal thing. It's like, I believe in whatever it is. I have resonance with whatever it is. Me, and whatever it is. And you see, so it's all that same game. Okay? And that's all right. But let's recognize it for what it is. You see? It's these beliefs are the glue that hold together the illusion. Okay? So all I'm doing here is I'm talking to you from the illusion to the illusion, and I'm trying to apply some glue remover, maybe what's it called? It starts with an A. What do you do? I have some in the other room that removes glue.
Yeah, I forget what you call it.
Acetone.
Acetone, that's it. Thank you. Yes. So you see, so I'm giving you some acetone, burn away that glue, and then everything eventually just falls apart. And what you're left with, when it all falls apart, you can see what is. And it's like, oh. Oh, there's nothing to believe in anymore because everything just is. So it's all right. We're all just playing the game, and but call a spade, okay? That's all. It's all right.
Good. It's all good. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad you chimed in. Because there's a lot of talks going on now, so people are going to have to chime in or I'm going to get really quiet.
I wanted to
yes,
echo what Mark highlighted in the talks by Nisargadatta so far about the fear is the memory of pain, and as a excerpt that's talked to him, and that's fear has been something that it's been part of my journey, karmic journey. I think, a lot of body karma and fear of getting injured and things like that. And years ago when we did an intensive, and you were giving out little pointers for everyone, whatever came to you. You said, for me, through fearlessness, the mind will know its master, which is a great one. But yeah, I just wanted to, it's just good for me to hear you talk about just the nature of the mind and fear. And yeah, that's about it. I just think just hearing it from you helps it go in deeper.
Good. Well, the thing about fear is that it's a natural state of the ego. Imagine what it would feel like to feel separate from God, to be nothing more than a dust speck, living on a dust speck. One would expect fear would arise quite often, you see, because your situation is precarious and flimsy at best, you see. So you cling on to the concept of a me, separate from God, in a world that is not safe. And so the mind is trying to keep you safe, and it uses fear to help in that process. So it's a natural feeling, but the thing about it is, when you're doing a spiritual journey and you're taking it to the level that you want to take it to, the ego will feel fear, because the ego's illusion of control makes it feel safe. Even if it's not true, it makes it feel safe for the ego. So you have to be willing and able to face fear. And the only energy that is able to fully embrace fear and call it its own is love. And by love, I mean the universal love, the unconditional love, can fully embrace fear as a part of itself, you see. So in the process where there's still a me involved, this is the thing I wrote about in the night writings. You have to face the dragon of that fear. You have to be able to face it. So I had this time toward the end of my sadhana in Hawaii. Most of us have outdoor showers, and I don't know why this was, but when I got in the shower, if I closed my eyes, I would feel this almost like stuff coming at me. It was really intense. I would open my eyes, but then I learned to face it. I learned to just close my eyes and let that just come out and face that fear and go through it, you see, and let it be till it was okay, till it didn't matter if that came at me. So you want to be able to go through your process. And like I said, the last talk, you know, you're asking for trouble here. The universe is going to try and keep you the way you've always been. Okay? There's a thing called old momentum, and you've put your whole lifetime into having things a certain way, and now you're moving away from it, and all that energy from a whole lifetime is coming at you and saying, no, don't give up now. Stay with it. You see? So it's all drawing you in to continue the way things were. And the ego is going to resort to fear to keep you in line, okay? And you have to be able to face it. You have to be able to face it, or the ego will be able to manipulate, take you back into its grasp and say, phew, that was a close one. Okay? So know that that's part of the journey, is facing the fear. Now you see, there's an automatic thing that the ego uses fear in a constructive way to keep the body safe. You see? So when you're standing at the edge of the cliff, the ego will put in fear when you get too close to the edge of the cliff, or when you're doing something that might throw you off the edge of the cliff. It keeps you in line. It keeps you in lines to keep the body safe. It's a very useful tool. But when you're doing your spiritual journey and you're learning to release that which is not real, and the ego just happens to be a part of that.
So in some ways, is it accurate to say there's a difference between rational fear and irrational fear, or like there have been a number of times where I'm just not listening to my body and I tweak an ankle, sprain my back, whatever, etc. But at the same time, I do feel, especially being, over the years, I have been able to recognize the fear when it comes up, be with it, be present with it, and not try and push it away. It is helpful for you to say to embrace it with love, because I don't know if I always embrace it with love. It's like I'm present with it, but it's more dispassionate. Anyhow, just a comment, not a question, I guess.
Yes, but Oliver, that's what you do.
That's true.
That's fine. You just work with it as best you can, and certainly there's fears that are unwarranted.
Right.
But the mind's crazy, so the mind will come up with stuff because of its own reasons and its own lessons in life and your conditioning and all of that. You just watch it. Right. I mean, so
when you're saying watching it, or you're talking about kind of the unconditional love that knows no opposite.
Yeah. No, you see, but there is a natural fear that arises. So the story I tell about Ramesh, when he came to Maui, we took him to this store called Greens, and Greens had all these exotic birds. Such a fun store to go into. And so they put a cockatoo on Ramesh's shoulder, and Ramesh looked over and he goes like this, and that's a big bird with a big beak. And I laughed and I said, Here's a man who's not afraid of death, but he's afraid of a little bird. So Ramesh used that for the next talk and explained that there's just a natural fear that arises. Spontaneously, the body will do that for protection. But there's another fear that is not any way related to that, you see.
Yep.
So there's that discrimination between the two.
Thanks.
Sure. Thank you. I see Krishna's tail.
The Shakti makes him very serene.
Oh,
Usually.
really?
Usually.
Make him disconnect us?
Not tonight. Tonight I think we're good.
Okay. Don't let him know all these people are here. So I want everyone to stay with this program of watching these or listening to these really excerpts from I Am That. Keep taking them in. Let them go as deep as they can go. Sit with them as long as you need to. Get the feeling for what it is that Nisargadatta is talking about. You see? And that's the idea here, is to fill the time in your days with this and allow it to just seep in, and it will take care of everything. Okay? So it's just you putting in the energy to have that as a part of your life, to have that in your space as much as possible. Whatever it is, just keep it in your life, in your moments, and let it do the work for you. You see, it'll take care of everything. And Nissy's words, they hold a lot of energy. They're really, he found a way to say this very, very clearly and succinctly, and it points beautifully to what it is. So just stay with your process. Make it this definitely a daily thing. I'm recommending an hour a day on these, and I really want as much as possible. You know, most people are watching TV for an hour a day, so this is your new TV show. Fine, enjoy this. You know, and just, I mean, really, you know, I have the news on every now. You know, it's like, Jesus, do I want to see this or listen to Nissi? Hard decision. So keep the process going. Stay with the program. It will bear fruit. I promise you. This will all bear fruit. If nothing else, at the very least, you're going to feel more peace in your daily. A lot more peace in your daily. A lot less of this stress of full involvement with thought and feeling. More and more recognize things for what they are. Yeah? So I'm gonna, let me see here, I have a little poem I think I'll leave you with. If it's here, here it is. So we started out with dreaming, we'll end off with dreaming here. Okay, this is from It Just Is, dreaming. I know it's hard to tell that all this isn't real, but when you're lost inside a dream, that's not the way it feels. But if you can remember when you wake up from a dream, that when you're sleeping, all your thoughts were not as real as they once seemed. Let your sleeping dreams remind you of how things are right here. When you live inside a dream, you have no need to fear. In your dreams, you can do anything, believing that it's true. It's as if God changed the rules on what you thought you knew. When people think that dreams are real, we have them put away. But we forget to look and see that we just dreamed this day. I know your feelings trick you into thinking this is real, but just like when you're dreaming, you just feel as you feel. It's hard to see this as a dream. It moves along so slow. But when you see the dream within the dream, you shall surely know it isn't real. I'll leave you with that. So, we'll sit quietly for a short while. I'm with you all, always, always, every moment. And I'm certainly with you now in every way. Om.